is Bongi Gladness. I am here in Johannesburg South, around the area, and this place is called, as you see, it's so beautiful. It's called Santarama Mini. It's a place where people can just come and chill with their baskets and they are cooler box to be able to what? To just chill and picnic. So we are here with my crew to talk about the event, and this event is a GBV event. It's the event of DMF, which is the Silla May Foundation. As you see in my background, we are at the event where women are going to be able to express themselves, and also we are going to have a picnic, and it's going to be fun where women are all going to be together. It's going to be so amazing. I can't wait, because we also have a dialogue where we're going to be speaking with other women who went through some pains, and they are going to tell us about their pains, and they're going to tell us how they went through and how they pulled through. Be praised. Hallelujah. Okay, yeah. I just want to start my story from when I was born, because I was born from a married man. That's where I want to start. He was a married man, tricked my mother when she was 19, and when my mother was pregnant, found out. He wanted my mother to be a second wife. My mother couldn't because she was a Christian. And then my mother had me since then until now. It's still me. So I just want to show the purpose of God, that sometimes God has a purpose about seeds. So I believe that those two seeds had to meet. That's the first thing I want to say. And then my mother was too young, and my mother also he had parents that got divorced, and then she had parents that got divorced, and she found herself in her mother's marriage with a stepfather that was abusing her. So she was abused, and she had to now go and find life for herself. She had a sister. The sister had to stay because the sister was more younger. The sister was there with the abuse of the stepfather. Like, it's that circle, I can say, because even me, my grandmother had to run away with me to take me somewhere, and then so that she can actually continue her marriage with the stepfather. But she had to go and check up on me wherever I was. I was raised by different people in different places, with different parents, I can say, because they were like my parents, because then I didn't understand what's going on. But I was a child who grew up liking to sing. As I was singing every time, like in the streets, I would just sing very loud. There was a lady by the name of Maspetlela. I think I was like about 7 years old that time. So Maspetlela, for me, she's like an angel, because Noma Hospital, you understand. She just came and she became that person who helped me. She took me to a choir. You see these clap and taps? I found myself in that choir of clap and tap for the community. And that way, I was a child now that felt peace, because now I found something that will help me to avoid the abuse. Then I managed to avoid the abuse by going to the choir every day after school. And then it continued that way, as maybe this year I'll be in the other place, this year I'll be in the other one. Then I'll be leaving the choir that way, because my grandmother would always wait for the husband to calm down. Once the husband is calm, maybe the following year, she gets me again, she picks me up from that place again. I come back and he would start again. That was that all my life. Until when I was 13. When I was 13, my mother now also, she had a job, now her life was good. She had to now come and say, I want my child. Then that's how she took me in, and I started staying with her. It was still tough, because now being raised by a single parent, and but then when she picked me up, she got me from my grandmother now, when I was 13 years, but in between, I had so many attempts of rapes from the neighbors, but then God being God and being good, I survived that. A lot of times where people would interfere, someone would just see something's going on, that what's going on with this man. And even me, I had that wisdom. Sometimes a man would just say, what? And I'd be like, why? I'd be like, no, I don't know. I had that when I was growing up. I don't know. I could see and I could discern somehow. So I want to thank God also for that. And then as time went on, when my mother now took me in, she was now better, because she went and helped herself with schooling and all that, and started working in mines and in unions and all that. And then that way, she now had got an opportunity to raise me as her child, who now can go to multiracial schools. That's where the whole accent, maybe if I could say. And then God being God again, he was there, and then he helped me through again with the Holy Spirit, with the angels and all that. And then I lived that life, and it now became large for me, where it was me, my mother, my granddad, then, who is the father to my mother. Because my mother, when she picked me, she took me in, she wanted to go help her father. Her father never got married, but her father was this saint, and I could say someone who is like Musa Maria, someone who just gives people money. He was a carpenter at the mines, and then he would when he has money, he would just flash it. So my mother, once she heard that, she said, no, let me get my child, and then I'll be able to stay with my father. I go back to Free State. That's when we went back to Free State, and all was that. And then we stayed with my grandfather, and he managed actually to be the one buying us a house. The house that we stayed in was for my grandfather, my mother's father. And then it was great, and he was also taking me to school while my mother was just working that small job. And then my mother managed to get a better job, which is working at SARS, and it was now flash. It was like luxury. And she also bought her own house now, a bigger one. That's how I actually started now tasting the soft life. But it was hard growing up, really. And then now, I now got married. I went to university and all that. Let me just cut the story short. I went to university. I passed record score. All was good. I did my course. Everything was great. And then when now I was working as a PA somewhere in Pretoria, that's where I met my husband. That's where another struggle started. And then domestic violence, and my husband was that person beating me up and all that. I don't understand what's happening. And I was there. I think I started now realizing that I'm in an abusive marriage when we were now 10 years in marriage, and now we are 14. Here it is, like I was listening to Samantha talking about forgiveness. It was like linking somehow, because I found myself forgiving this man every time, praying and fasting, calling God, asking God what's happening, asking God, will it ever end? Why am I living like this my whole life? I've never actually tasted happiness. I've never tasted peace. What's happening, God? I kept on praying and praying and praying. And then I also found myself being also going to a theology school, because I love God. I love God so bad. Then I thought maybe that way, when I'm following God that way to show him my fullness of commitment to him, I thought maybe things will change. But eventually, because God is God and he's always good, I found myself now starting to also wanting to help people like Disele. And I started my own organization in 2021. In 2021, I started my own organization called Women of Substance. Why Women of Substance? I registered Women of Substance because I wanted to teach women how to close their mouths. Because I also saw that I was helped by closing my mouth. I feel like I could have died. But because I was this person who shuts up every time. And I saw that's how I survived with my husband, because he didn't even know what to do now when he finds myself quiet, looking at him and always asking him, why? That helped me a lot. And I would always be a fool and submit, no matter what. And that made him somehow also to calm down. So women, if you can have that understanding of the mouth, we shout, we want to reason. And remember, as we reason, they reason. So they can't, they're not like us. Then they will reason. So save yourself, protect yourself. So just like me, Samantha, my husband also, he took himself to, as I'm talking now, we're still together. I only separated maybe 9 months after our marriage in 2012. I separated with him for 3 years. And he never stopped coming to me that whole 3 years. When I was at home, but we were married. He kept on coming because, with men, they knew when they say, I want to marry you. They know what they want. And once you leave, for them, it becomes a wake-up call. So I left him for that 3 years, but then I was doubting him as he said, come back. You doubt and say, when? And easy, So, but then at the end of the day, we got back together. Now it's 14 years. And people, I'm telling you, it's great. It's great. We are now, even now, we still are undergoing counseling. The pastor came one time and he said, what's happening? it was so tough, people. It was so tough. It still is, but at the same time, I like the fact that he took himself in alone to therapy, and then now we are going together. He is now willing, like you said. Like when they are willing, it's much better because he's more calmer and he doesn't do all the beating anymore. The beating actually stopped in 2021. So we thank God. Thank you so much. But now I want to talk to you in the platform as we had all what we had from different people. Those that have questions, can we ask the questions? And maybe we'll have also discussions as I'm here as a panelist, trying to talk to you and as a presenter, presenting to you. And also, I know that I didn't really introduce myself that well as a musician as well, as a media personality, radio and TV. So God was good. Guys, you can imagine where you come from and then where you are. I want to appreciate where I am now because I'm a jack of all trades and I can do anything. I'm a multitasker. So I'm great like that. So I'm also helping Disile. I gave myself a position in her organization. I call myself a COO of Disile Foundation. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So just know that I'm with her. I'm with her and I'm watching her. So yeah, so what is it that we can, who wants to ask what? Maybe we can start by asking me. Who wants to ask? Because a lot of people are always worried and they always wonder, how did you? Okay, mommy, let me start with you. And when you can answer through this mic over here.
My name is Doka Zulu, from Leading Ladies of Mzansi. That's why I met Disile, Samantha. You know, it's a family that is growing. And I'm happy to be here. Sister, you are next. Sister, you are next. I know you. I'll tell you where. So I'm part of Real Edwaba Foundation. We have adopted kids from different schools. Why I'm saying this is because of the books. We are in partnership with Hollywood Birds. So they are giving us school books. We are buying school uniform for those kids for 3 years. Then from there we'll go and get the other kids. And we also give away blankets to the churches. Radio station, like last year we giving Metro had to adopt. And then it's a competition, they give those blankets away. So what I want you guys to do for the Sila Foundation, I don't know why you say you're the CEO, because I thought I am one. But oh, you're the one. So, you know, it's by God's grace for all of us to be here. Mama Malika, and I was born Hamalika. So we are a family. Let's do something to help the sister to grow and be where others are. She's still a baby, but with us, we can be very far.
So true.
Thank you. Sister, is this your place? Okay, that's why I said I know you. We can do a lot of things here. It's for the first time coming here. I do events. So we can bring more events here.
Yes, so true.
We've got artists in the house. We've got sister here that can get artists. You know, we're promoting each other.
Definitely.
We've got speakers amongst us. So come out. It's not only about GBV. It's about us, what we want to do in life. I don't have special questions to all the speakers. What I'm saying, let's help each other. When the time comes, when we ask for blankets, let us get those blankets under the Disile May Foundation, supporting the Real Edwaba Foundation. It's not something like Real Edwaba's got money. She doesn't have. Wakokota asking for that because Lerona, we're helping, we are part of her. Then now we have to do something for the Disile May Foundation. And it must be different. You know, the Little Ladies and the Real Edwaba Foundation can do something, but she can come with something different. that people were waiting for. So I want, sister, this is specifically to you. When we give away school books for the little ones, I want your name to be there. Bring your banners. Somebody to challenge. You know, Hollywood is gambling. And when the kids are asking, what is this Hollywood about? You're scared to tell them it's gambling.
Yes.
And in the families, we've got gamblers. Ne? And then that child, you know, the mind will, yeah, okay, my mom's money is going here. And then now they're giving me the books. We don't have food at home. So that's starting to, you know.
Exactly.
Yes. So please, sister, Mama Malika, etanga di buka tsa lona. Brother there, thank you so much, because I think you are a very good example to all the men. You are my next artist in our event.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, baby. Rona will be there for you. Where is she? I think she must be in one of the posters, because it really, you know, it's building other kids.
Of course, yeah.
Next time, I think my next event, after I was listening to everybody talking here, I'm going to have a high tea, mother and daughter breakfast. You are a mother, you've got a makoti, and then you've got a mother-in-law. We must all be friends. Doesn't matter who hate who.
How are you, sir?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Say your thing, say whatever you want to say. Thank you.
My question is necessitated by something somebody said
Okay.
about violence and war crimes and all of that. I get to speak to people, women especially, who are going through war crime, who are going through, should I call GBV, yeah,
Okay.
as a result of the crime happening there.
Okay.
And the crime is not even publicly recognized. The war is not even publicly recognized. How do we handle such situations? Especially some people are shy, they don't want to talk about it. Some people, when they talk about it, it's like there is some sort of stigma attached to it. How do we solve that problem?
Yeah, from my own point of view, the only way we can help them is for them to come out
They must come out.
and tell their stories, because you can't help somebody who doesn't
Yeah.
want to be helped or is reluctant to be helped. So there are many organizations out there, especially in Nigeria and Darfur and Sudan, that deals with these issues. But when you talk about people from war-torn countries, it's even more difficult, because even the family do not support them. Do not support them to an extent that some will just want to keep quiet and not say anything. But in terms of here in South Africa, we've got organizations. What they need is to be encouraged to talk. If you know someone that has been abused, tell that person to get counseling, and then to avoid stigmatizing them. We mustn't blame game, because what I've realized that
Thank you, mommy.
in South Africa we like blaming the victims, not
So true.
the perpetrators.
Thank you so much.
And
ma'am.
as a result, people just keep quiet,
Thank you.
because nobody wants to be blamed for something that he hasn't done. But overall, people must just
Speak out, yeah.
just
So
speak
true.
out all the time, and we must encourage them to speak, not to say no, keep quiet. It's like when your daughter is raped, and as a mother, instead of going out to, even if it's the father of that child, report that man.
Thank you
Report
so
the
much,
father.
mommy.
Because then at the end of the day is to do with shame and honor. There's no shame in reporting your husband or your uncle, whoever, and there's no honor in sacrificing your
So
daughter.
true.
Let's let them talk.
So true. So true. Thank you, mommy. It's so true. It's not easy to come out, because with me, the whole 10 years, I was beaten. The whole 10 years of my marriage, it was all beating, and it was not. But I would talk to relatives and family members. But sometimes it's not easy. I have 2 kids. My son is 15 now. My daughter is 8. So sometimes it's not easy to just, come out or just talk, because you'll be thinking about such things, as Samantha said. My son, when I left 3 years, for that 3 years in 2012, he was only 2 years old. So such things, you'll be thinking about them, and I couldn't even file a divorce because I kept on thinking that, no, there's a hope. But at the same time, I was fearing for my life. So there are a lot of things that can make you not to really want to come out. Do you want to say something, Tisele? Papa, I'll come to you.
Thank you for this, Mike.
And yours is that one. Oh, I didn't see.
Okay,
Sorry, I didn't see you.
I think you just covered it, because I wanted to say most of women are staying in abusive relationships.
Kids.
They don't want to speak, because where are they going to go?
True.
Remember, they're being supported by this. They're dependent on men. They're at home. For me to eat, this husband must buy food for me.
It's always
the
that.
kids, they must be taken to school because of this man. So the reason we are staying here in our region F, again, Rachel, economic empowerment. I think that's how it can address the situation there. We will go, we need to go. We need to raise funds, and even go to
Africa.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
So economic empowerment. Women there isn't anyone who cannot do anything with their own hands. We understand? Because if you are economically empowered,
So true.
let me go and have my own space. And then I can be able to take care of the children.
So true.
And then another thing, we need men. The reason I went to the prison, because I said these men are mentally trained. We understand? We need men, because you guys, men are scared of another man.
Fight for
abusers,
us.
but
Yes.
But they're scared of men. So if you're a group of men, you are going to protect them.
Exactly.
Because anyway, it's not going to be protection of only economically, then it will be safety. Where do I go? Because the protection order, they don't help us.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with, I don't know.
Thank you so much.
She will talk, what is it that we need to come up with, so we can see how we help women.
Definitely. That's why we have
Thank you.
That's why we have you. Thank you so much.
I like this. I like dialogues, because I feel like that's how
Okay.
we deal with issues. Dialogues,
Of course.
and it's important to disagree so that we actually get to the niche of the
So
thing.
true.
So I think maybe it's just how it's put. Teaching women how to not speak. I think it has a very serious connotation. Maybe teaching women how to communicate.
themselves as well,
Maybe
yeah.
if we put it that way.
Communicate,
Because when you
okay.
say you're teaching me for us, for the house to for there to be peace in the house, I must zip it. We're not really dealing with a problem. We are just allowing it to happen, in that. So it's a matter of communication.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I feel like we need to learn how to communicate better.
I like
we
that.
need to learn how to respect one another. And I know that the Bible will say that women must submit and all that. And it's true. But then I love you so much. I think I'm going to ask you to be my mentor, because you cover everything. And I like that you cover it from a good perspective. You are a married woman. Because sometimes when you're a feminist, you're a bitter, angry woman.
Exactly.
And it's not the case, You still love your men. You are just correcting the wrongs, So I think, yes, it's okay for us to fix how to communicate. Women
How to
need to communicate
Yeah,
better.
Don't be loud. Yeah.
Men need, it's when a man hits you, it's not because you did something. When a man hits you, it's because a man is doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
When I say, oh my, he hit me because I used to speak so much. No, he could have
No.
done something.
No,
He
yeah,
could have
so
walked
true.
out of the
So true.
house, So everybody has to play their part. Everyone needs some fixing, and
So true.
the books are teaching our children that everyone needs some level of emotional intelligence.
So true.
How do you speak? How do you respond? It's a two-way street thing.
So true.
It's not a woman must for there to be peace.
With our men, they always want to show up. So he will provoke you. He will provoke you just for you to react. So that's how it is with me. I can spend a lot of months without fighting with my husband, as if he's not fighting with me. Because I'm a person of peace. That's just who I am. But I'm not saying don't be dumb. I'm not saying, I'm not saying the submission of not being wise. We need wisdom. But then women, we know ourselves. I mean, I must not say certain harshness that you do. Sometimes we just are the cause. That's what I was trying to say. We just find ourselves, no, would be the cause through how we speak with them. Through how we speak, we provoke. That's what I'm saying. Like, we are the cause of the provoking of those men to start reacting. You know what I mean? We women, let us just be saying, Baba, thank you. Let's just hear. No, let's not make noise. I'm the one who's conducting. Please, thank you. Yes, Baba. Come closer. You're not going to be audible because we're recording this. Yes, we're recording it, yeah.
My name is Pusho Poho. Pusho Yabone Poho. I'm torn, completely torn. Listening to the story, sir, Oscar Rabo.
Wow.
Listening to the. Now I'm an old man. Not that it's the first time that I hear all these things that you are talking about patriarchy, I know them all. One of the things I think, I'm in men's forum also. You must hear, the other time I was at Tikkun, and we were listening to young men talking. And even if myself, I'm from, I don't want to talk about myself, but my background is that we were taught from Kilimunyane, it's just because you are of the certain sex, all of us. It was instilled, it's still being instilled. I'm a pensioner, I'm an old man. And some people think, because I think that way, there's something wrong about me and so on. And these are men. And women also. I've seen when they actually reinforce that thing. They are surprised when I do my own washing. Why do what? So it's we shouldn't just look at it superficially. Yeah, very deeply. You were talking about Johannesburg, Sun City. I used to work there with juvenile offenders. I taught for many years, by the way. I taught both for Kukodi High Schools, and I'm saying it very humbly, both in tertiary and so on and so on. And some of the things then I could do to prison anymore. I don't know whether anyone of you know about President's Award. President's Award in one of the NGOs, but it was signed by Kia Khalikwa in the 80s. So we used to go Boxback prison, and then we used to talk to these juvenile offenders, apart from doing other things. And you can't believe, or some of the perpetrators on felt justified, or they raped this one. Imagine me coming from the background, having to. I literally had to run away from there. I don't want to see myself in that situation. Because I've seen people maimed, killed. And Tsekibala, Mama, Kinsekibala, your book. I just went through quickly. How. And some of those things are still happening. And we're perpetuating that. Runa is banna. Because also, go high. We must look at the family structure.
Yes.
Dysfunctional structures. I'm glad some of the people are here from my complex. I'm from Fever Tree complex. And I always tell Basitsan, I can't believe what is happening ko Banabago. Man, wana uraka the other time nekiblela arwaka muthu a moholo a mo khalimela a mo rwaka ka di anatomy tsa hae ilare ha ba ya ko mme wa ngwano maya mo emela re ngwana ka a o yetseng. So you understand, I'm just saying that's one anecdote that I'm into. There are so many other, there's a lot. One of my prayers in finality, one of my prayers is that before I get recycled, before I go to, at least one soul could get what you are talking about. The damage that patriarchy is doing, the damage of something that is abnormal. One of my cousins, Yona, she doesn't feel hore monna ha wa mo rata ha sa mo shapa.
Hey.
Just
Hey.
imagine such
Hey.
such socialization. That's the whole thing. You know, a lie being told over and over again. Iba and the truth momo too. So I think we must be very intentional. Osnomondo talked about it. Very intentional about talking these things. Kobanim baruna, koruna, loruna as men. Even women, but lastly, even basadi babambare. I kiss shimanu. How when you show the softer side of that's the language. I'm talking like this because it's even to you. Yeah, hence sometimes we act out aggressively and not affirmatively. And in short, and I know I'm long, but thank you so much for. And I pray to God, I wish, God, before one dies, or this message it be permeated. Now there's a project. Lastly, there's a project that we are running at diversity. It's got to do with hydroponic farming and so on and so on. Dintho tse re di bonang sekolong moo, where something that is abnormal, really abnormal, bullying, banyana ba hlotlheletsa hore ba etse something that is just to fit in, and the teachers le bona ba feletswe ke matla, truly speaking. I honestly, Ostembi, I see that your gesture is very commendable. Or refer a place. There's a place like this. Please let us share information. It's not for me.
Thank you. Thank you. So amazing. I don't want to sound like I'm generalizing, ne? Because I work with women and I also counsel them as well because of my theology background. I'm not like, I know that somehow I provoke some other women here, but let me tell you something. I'm talking from what I'm hearing whenever I hear women. There are certain things where we need to be fair, because even men, they don't know how to speak for themselves now because we know how to speak better. So we need to understand also the errors that we also, our mistakes as well of the whole thing, how our men react. There are certain ones that are really innocent where the men will just be the ones because of their background too. Remember, they also come from the very broken families as well, and they come from pains themselves, and they can't speak. They know reasoning. Their reasoning is this one. So I'm not generalizing when I'm saying women, we speak a lot. But I want you to understand that I have a way of understanding it, what causes all the abuse and everything. Somehow, there are certain women, let me put it that way, because I don't want to sound like I'm generalizing. There are certain women who also come from pains, and they find themselves now having answers every time when you don't have to. Sometimes just keep quiet. It's okay. Allow him to continue and speak. That's what I was trying to say. I just don't know how to explain it, but I know what I'm trying to say. Thank you. So who else wants to talk?
Yes.
Okay.
On that point, because I just wanted to say, like, every person is an individual and every situation is to be treated individually. Like, I think maybe the reason why, like, the language is so, like, you're making it sound like everyone, it's one size fits all.
That's
It's
why
cool.
I came back. That's why I came back trying to say.
Every situation needs to be handled
I might be
differently.
sounding like I'm generalizing,
Yeah.
but let me just try to say, because of the women that I sometimes meet in restaurants when I counsel them, I could hear that some women, hey, Luena, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their context. But what I wanted to ask, I don't know if it's a question or maybe a point of discussion, because it's what's happening here actually. Thank you for inviting me. She invited me.
Are you able to just
Speak louder.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I thought the mic was gonna help.
No, it's not that mic. It's
Like
for
what's
the recording.
happening here is actually very beautiful and is very commendable, and especially for, I'm not so young anymore, I might look young, but I'm very old. But it's something that is needed in our society, and it's something that is needed amongst our young people. There was a time, me and a friend of mine, we went to speak to the councillor of this section here, and we didn't really come right. It was about the very same thing that's happening here. And what the question was for me back then and even now is, how do we get the information out to the young people? Because there's so much resources, there's so much that's happening even here, but nobody really knows what's actually happening and how they can be a part of something like this that's happening. And really, how do we get this out to everyone? Because when you look at the negative things that are happening in the world, they are everywhere. You don't need to look far to see, I mean, sorry for those who drink, but alcohol adverts are everywhere. You just turn and it's there. You look, you smell, it's just everywhere. But how do we turn something like this to be like that? That it actually gets to people's faces, that it raises an awareness to everyone that, hey, this is happening. Let's say in Santarama, there's this type of a movement that we can be a part of that can add to people's life. I look at the young people even around here during school holidays, even now, like kids are sitting and smoking happily in the streets, and they are 15, they are 12, and me, I'm known as that auntie. I just trigger anyone's children because I have 4 kids, and it traumatizes me to think that they'll grow up in a society like this. I think you spoke on it. It doesn't matter if you're gonna raise your kids well, but now who are they gonna be friends with? They'll be in the society now. They'll be in contact with other kids. Then what? You raise them well, but now they listen more to their peers than they listen to you. Now what happens to other people's children? So the whole, statement, it takes a village to I strongly believe in that. But how do we get that out there? Because it needs to get to the people.
It will eventually. Thank you. Can we close maybe with the two of you? Do we have somebody else? Maybe? Somebody else on the other side? So sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Mina, I wanted to thank each and every one of you guys that came. Unfortunately, you guys, you came. You are not the people or the people that, you are not the right crowd. The people that they need to hear this, they are at home. They are the one didn't come.
Hey, hey.
Because we're always there trying to help. But it's always us coming.
Gradually, it will happen.
Understand? We try to help this community, but they are parents, and it's very, very hard. I was telling this Aleguti, as long as I'm alive, as Tembisile Buteles, and as long as I'm in Santarama, guys, I'm gonna make the difference, whether with or without help.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make help. I'm putting myself in front of good. I'm gonna make help. Even now, I'm hearing that you are dancing and we have the village here. I don't know whether it's a village or it's a what colored community in the corner here. It always pains me to go to the shop. It's better now. I'm not going to the spaza shop. Those kids, we have drug addicts there. I want to cry my lungs out when I see a 3-year-old smoking nyawupe.
You lie.
In this community here. And then if people they will fight you. You are doing this. There is this. They will come and say stupid things while kids are dying. These kids in this community is neglected. As she's saying, they're smoking. Probably small kids, 7 years, will find them smoking cigarette, and it's going home to the mommy. There's no problem. It's a norm. As we're gonna come here and talk to each other, at the end of the day, we are not doing anything. If really we're not gonna do, I want to see change.
It's happening.
I want to see change. If I don't see change, guys, I'm still going to do. And as I'm saying, guys, January is starting. By God's grace, whether with help or no help, I'm still gonna just help another woman. I take 20 last year. I'm gonna take another 20 this year.
Okay.
Take them with or without money, because you must make change. Those people that I teach, I don't have here, not even. I think it's only Mom Jennifer. Mom Jennifer was showing me, I want this. She was even walking as far as Southdale to come to the class. She never misses the classes. Because sometimes we can give you the opportunity, but because it's free or because it's cheaper, you don't even bother to call.
People don't vote.
To say, no, teacher, I'm not coming to the class.
Hey, Chef. No, thank you so much. You know what? We thank you.
No problem, guys. Thank you so much.
Bless you as well. Yeah. Who else?
Good day. Good day to everyone.
Now I'm going to feel like an ant.
Sorry, my name is Princess, but AKA Tall, Dark, and Handsome. As a young woman from a community like Taffontein, this is the question that I want to ask to all of the supporters here. I come from a background where I have no support from my parents, even from the people in my community. But I'm someone who is willing to start, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to find myself sitting where you are sitting, and speaking to nations and bringing women and empowering women. But the question is, where do we start? These are organizations that I came here by accident. I came here by eavesdropping a conversation in KFC, So if that didn't happen, I would have never known about this, So all I want to ask is, where do people like me, ladies like me, find people like you, That's all I wanted to ask.
We're here, definitely. Do we have somebody else? Do we have somebody else? Or maybe can we just close? Oh, I remember the side. Hey, I'm still saying sorry again. I'm sorry. No, come, it's recorded. So it needs to be audible. No, I want to hear you.
Dumelang.
Ahe.
Nna lebitso la ka ke Rachel Sejeng, all the way from Free State.
Okay.
Ke kopane le Disileme ko WhatsApp ka mo tena hore o fihlela a ba nkaraba a re OC o kotle. Le nna I'm something.
You're
For
something.
I'm a chief executive what?
Maruai kaofela.
Go Disile. What I can say about basadi are rataneng.
Yeah.
Women kore ithuteng the word love. Are rataneng. Are supportaneng women. Re bontshaneng hore mona re basadi re tlamehile ha re ema re le one re kgona ho achieve the things that we want to achieve.
So true.
Women basadi ba disability ka tlu. I'm one of them and I'm proud of myself. I got disadvantaged ka tsela e seng e ba bangata ba sa tlo e kgona we understand that. I was working in the hospital as an admin clerk. It happened where the patient wanted to be transferred to another hospital for prostate cancer.
Okay.
He was a senior citizen. He couldn't have anyone for helping him to go and sign the papers and everything.
Okay.
So I volunteered myself. I
Ah.
said, "Ke tlo tsamaya le wena, Papa. I will go and do everything for you there, and then I will come back." I was knocking off at 7 o'clock in the morning. The ambulance that we went to Bloemfontein with went straight under the truck.
Oh.
Went straight under the truck. So they all died. I was left
Oh.
alone.
Ish. Though, yeah.
And then after that, I had to be in the coma for a long time there in Bloemfontein. When I was transferred back to my hospital. There was no support from my family. Even they were calling me names. Unuiketa hero. Unonahana urumangwena. So I didn't get any support from anyone, even the management of my hospital. They couldn't compensate me with anything. They said to me, it was beyond your job description. So you're supposed to see yourself or you will do
Hey,
what.
Mara.
I resigned immediately.
Ish.
What was the reason for me to be there? Because I'm the chosen one. Modimo umphile that thing ya hore ke thuse batho. I went out without anything. Ka thusa batho. I started my own bakery with the small little money ene ke e tshwere, and it's a successful bakery now in Free State. I'm in competition with ShopRite.
Oh.
Now
Oh.
I had to bounce back.
Wow.
To show my family who with or
Oh.
without your support, I'm there. Ke nna Rachel. Ke a leboha.
Amandla. We don't have any other person, right? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for today. Wow, it was so great right here in the south of Johannesburg. We were here for the Silla May Foundation, and it was all about 16 days of activism and GBV. And we are closing it on that note. You saw how great it was. You saw how powerful it was. And we're still going to have more of the events like this. My name is Bongi, and I am signing out right now. And I'm saying it was great right here in the Johannesburg, the south of Johannesburg. And the place here is Santa Rama, as I told you. I'm out.